It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday, my dudes.
And welcome into We Talk Sports Good. I think we are live, right, Caleb?
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
We had some technological differences.
Yeah, maybe that's what I get for my $10 mic that's held up for like 3 years now. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know. So we're just gonna roll with.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was definitely my side. I just looked at my settings and I had the wrong audio. Like the headphone was set for gaming, not chat, and that was the issue. So I'll go ahead and not throw your mic.
L.
Yeah, I'll take the L. I won't throw your mic under the bus there.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna hang in what I got right now. If we can be heard, that's all that's needed, right?
We're good.
All right.
Let's go.
Very good. So obviously you have Caleb here off to a rough start for filling in for Randall. So when he listens back, he is gonna mark that down. So watch out. Randall coming
Yikes.
hot. Well, that's a tough chair to fill, but
That is a tough chair to fill.
But we are here on Zingo TV too. If you're watching there, channel 761, or on, of course, the normal 12-ounce sports channels, Facebook, Twitter. Like I said, Zingo TV. You can use that 12OZ sports code when you're signing up on Zingo, so you can throw us on the TV, tweet at us, tweet at Caleb, and tell him how much he can't use a computer.
Boomer, apparently.
Yeah. Come on, man. We're supposed to know how to use technology and stuff. So, like the good old Chevy truck guy, I saw that video got pulled back up with the World Series ending, and Chevy doing the MVP trophy. The old Chevy guy. I mean, to be fair, that guy probably never talks on TV ever, and then they have him talking about the brand new Chevy Silverado, and he didn't know at all what he was doing. And the poor guy just was stumbling around, looking at his notes, sweating profusely, and trying to give this truck away to Madison Bumgarner. And he's like, this truck at Chevy has technology and stuff we're proud of.
Sounds like me giving a college presentation back in the day.
Technology and stuff. But hey, don't forget, you can use that technology on MyBookie and use that 12OZ sports code and get paid. We have way better shows that can get you paid as well. Vegas Squares, Top DiBiase, the Pete's Power Play. Those will get you guys some money and wins. Don't listen to me. As I was telling Caleb before the show, my right now college football record against the spread of 23, 35, and 2. And I lost head-to-head to Randall last week. We technically tied, but he got his lock of the week right. I did not. So I gave him that as the tiebreaker. So we'll see if I can bounce back. But that was my best week at 5-5. So that's how pathetic it is so far. So I know you didn't want the challenge, but if you ever change your mind in a future week, just let me know. It's not that hard to beat me.
All right, will do. I'll give you this week. You can be winner by default.
And anyone else out there, if you want to go one-on-one with The Undertaker, which is not actually me, but possibly start a new segment, the Celebrity Not Celebrity Guest Challenge Picker in college football against the spread. We'll have to condense the name. Tweet at us, text us there on that, and we can get you locked in on a week where you pick 10 games against the spread in college football and go head-to-head with me. As I'll read your picks and I'll read mine live on the show on a Wednesday. So don't forget about that if you are listening right now and in a future week want to take that challenge. But first, before we get into college football and I review my past picks, give you my next picks, we had a World Series ending up and we were so close. with my prediction at the beginning of the year of a Game 7 Dodgers Rays. I'm very proud of that since obviously my college football picks are terrible. But hey, before the baseball season, I said Dodgers over Rays in 7. We got Dodgers over Rays in 6. And obviously, a couple big things in Game 6. If you want to go with the Blake Snell or Justin Turner, either direction. But just kind of some notes on it all, the whole series, I would just say Mookie Betts, I think he has now cursed the Red Sox. Um, After obviously the Babe Ruth trade, now we have the Mookie Betts trade, and the Red Sox have now just cursed themselves for a long stretch without a World Series because when you're in a big market and you can pay your superstar, you pay your superstar and don't get cheap, as the Red Sox did, and watch Mookie walk away and win a World Series year one with the Dodgers. And obviously I know there's a bunch of, well, the Dodgers are the Yankees of the East. They can just buy, or the West, excuse me, and they can just buy whoever they want. But what I at least respect on the Dodgers end is they do have a very homegrown core there. Obviously, you have spots all over the position, but really their pitching staff, that was everyone that started, that is a starter on their roster, I should say, not their bullpen games where they throw a reliever out there first, but all their starters were homegrown, drafted, or international signings. So if you want to see a team built, I mean, obviously the Dodgers had the money to keep guys and bring in that big name piece, but they have built very well from the inside. So respect on that. And what's funny is I saw people, especially on the whole Snell thing, if you want to go with obviously the Rays are a very analytical team and just bashing analytics and how it's ruining baseball, blah blah blah. Glad the Dodgers won because of that. You do realize the GM of the Dodgers was a former assistant of the Rays in the assistant GM. So they took an analytic guy and just gave him some money. So don't tell me the Dodgers aren't an analytic team. They are. And they've grown their talent, spent the money where they needed to. Obviously, nice when you can have the payroll. LA versus Tampa Bay baseball. So don't forget about that. But wanting to get into the game 6 because overall, I think the Dodgers just had the better team. They just had so many stars all around. I'm really happy to see Clayton Kershaw get that win. Big Clayton Kershaw fan. I've said many times I want to see him pitch one time in person before he retires. Obviously, straight Hall of Famer. But the Blake Snell thing. I mean, that's the thing on the field versus analytics, obviously. Everyone's tearing it apart. Um, I guess the only thing I really wanted to point out on this is, yes, I do think he should have kept pitching, especially when 1-2-3 he had him 0 for 6 strikeouts. And yes, going to the third time around the order is dangerous sometimes, but in this situation, he was just dealing and he had those guys numbered. Yes, I would say that is where Field needs to especially in the playoffs, kind of win out. But at the same time, I don't want to completely say he's the worst manager ever because the Rays got to the World Series because of a lot of things Kevin Cash did on decisions and managing a bullpen. So, I mean, if you're going to bash him for that, that's fair, but you got to give him at least some praise for getting there because he did manage that team and figure out the pieces along the way to get to a World Series. Now, like I said, there needs to be a balance of the feel of how the guy's just doing versus, well, this is what it tells me to do right here is to put the righty in to face these guys. All for that. But at the same time, I'm going to look at this series. I don't think it was lost by Cash. Um, I also kind of look at that one kind of fluky game where the Rays won on the air and all that. I mean, the Dodgers just were the better team that series. I think that was just straight up. I think they would have won in 7. I would have taken Walker Buehler to win that. I'm not sure if the Rays had Morton lined up for 7, but I think Buehler in Game 7 would have won it. They're a great team. They're going to be a great team for the Rays going forward. We could see this next year possibly. Overall, just I thought it was still an exciting series. I don't want to take the big takeaway of analytics ever in the game. I enjoyed it from start to finish. So, and then obviously Justin Tucker or Turner, Justin Turner. Yeah, man, you really should not be running around on the field if you were pulled in the middle of the game because you had COVID.
Yeah, that was not a good look for baseball there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, it's over. So I mean, like you're just like, oh, there's no more games, but
I
yeah,
mean, in the same, like in his defense, I mean, he was there already, and they'd all been around him.
The biggest
So
thing was just since they actually brought families to these, so now you get the
yeah,
families, and yeah, it's just
it's
not
not
great,
great.
not great at
Not
all.
great.
Yeah. So, so yeah, that's all. I don't feel like going too much on that. Congrats to the Dodgers. I thought it was a very fun playoff. So you want to decide you didn't think so? Awesome, but I really enjoyed the baseball playoffs, and looking forward to hopefully then a full season next year, since baseball at least is not in position as basketball and hockey now, where they've got to figure out how they want to condense their next season. So
Hmm.
looking
I
forward.
did enjoy the stadium though, or the
Yeah,
field.
I
Globe
played
Life. I'm
some.
excited to go there in person.
Well,
Hopefully, maybe next year.
yeah, I mean
Maybe.
it's AC, or when it's cold, you're not freezing at the game. Man, I get it. I played. I love a nice outdoor stadium, but man, if I'm watching, I like a nice comfortable stadium to not be sitting in a pool of my sweat. So
Yep. That was always like my thing is like going, because like I want to wear my khaki shorts, but at the same time in the middle of summer, do I really want to wear my khaki shorts? Like
yeah, have a nice
leaving,
butt
a
tan.
little butt sweat there.
Yeah,
It's not great.
yeah. People you
So
stand up
I'm,
and you're like,
I'm
oh man, you pee yourself.
yeah.
Now I'm sitting in my sweat, man.
Gotta get some jorts or something to prevent it.
So yeah, so we'll move on here to college football. I want to make sure we get into that as well and review my picks. I was 5 for 5, like I mentioned. I started strong, man. I had some good early games. I got Coastal Carolina right, Oklahoma right. Lock of the week failed with the Michigan State getting blown up by Rutgers, which I thought was hilarious. So I was all for that. Um, State sucks, so yeah. Liberty covering that 11. Iowa State hanging in there with that late cover at the end of the game. So I'm feeling good, 4-1, and then it just went downhill from there. Penn State just we'll get to kind of talk about some of the games, but yeah, they blew that one for me.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that Penn State
Yeah,
game.
felt good on the Boston College. I really liking Boston College this season. Maryland just absolutely got just stomped on by the Northwestern Nerds, and good for them. They have an offense there right now. Or Maryland's just that bad. I don't know. Maybe a little both. Miami did not cover as well as I thought versus Virginia, and Air Force lost to who I forgot, Starkle at San Jose State. I thought Air Force was going to win and cover that touchdown. So I don't, and also I don't usually do this. I had a lot of extra picks I considered, and I went 4-4 on those. So yeah, thought that was kind of ironic. I still went 500 on my extra picks that I was considering for the week. So not even like I had a lot I kind of missed on that I held off. But getting into talking about some of these games here, um, big news, I guess. Also, Wisconsin will be canceling their Saturday game thanks to now 6 coaches and 6 players with COVID, and they have no bye weeks to make anything up. All started with a really good-looking Graham Mertz, their highest-rated quarterback they've ever recruited, going 20 for 21, 248, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. They could actually unleash a passing game first since Russell Wilson they've had, and then he gets a positive test and then confirmed, and then we're looking at the third stringer, so we're then going got COVID, then the fourth stringer with a great name, Vanderboom, still feeling good, and then it just kept going downhill. So be interesting to see the fallout on that because the Big Ten's once you're positive, they don't have or they don't have the um, contact tracing, but you get that second confirmation positive, you are out 21 days. Which
Mm.
someone said technically, Graham Mertz, because it was a Friday game, could come back for the Michigan game because he could get cleared the day before. So that'll be interesting.
It's one to watch.
Yeah. So Ohio State just stomps on Nebraska. Justin Fields obviously playing angry there. I don't think you say much more than they're going to be a very dangerous team this year. I think everyone already knew that. But Ohio State, where's that one random loss they shouldn't have? We got North Carolina holding off NC State pretty well. Kansas State, I don't know if you had saw. I mean, obviously I know it's Kansas, but they
The
had
fake punt.
they had yeah just had two punt returns for touchdowns. They called the time up to force them to punt to end the half and got their returns for touchdown. They had a pick six all in the first half. Like their special teams and defense had three touchdowns. That just absolutely ran away. Thought that was just kind of funny to see. Um,
I mean, it's Kansas.
it is Kansas. We got
They're a basketball school.
exactly. We got Lane Kiffin saying that replay was wrong, and then he got fined because he said replay was wrong. But the SEC then said, yeah, the replay was wrong. As they lose by a touchdown, Randall was right. Auburn can get that random win. Maybe there's something there. We saw Rutgers get 7 turnovers from Michigan State to get that win. Greg Schiano back at Rutgers. Interesting there. Alabama easily takes Tennessee, but obviously the bigger thing there is no more Waddle.
Yeah, that's a big one because I mean he's probably one of the best receivers in the country,
Yeah.
and he's one of the better playmakers Alabama's had in recent years. So him being out, that's very disappointing. So
Obviously they have Mechie and Smith, so they'll be fine. But yeah, that's still big. That's a trio they had. And obviously Najee Harris is dominant. So Oklahoma State, like I mentioned, held on there. I want to circle back to the Penn State Indiana as the last game to talk about here. I don't know if you had saw the quadruple doink by Rice.
Yeah.
God, and then they lose in double overtime when they could have
Yeah.
possibly won it.
Didn't they do that on like second down?
It was like, I think it was third. I think they ran like a couple plays to do nothing. Like instead of like maybe moving it up a couple, like maybe a little closer, they ran like a couple plays to no. I think he like kind of dropped back and then I don't know if it was like a kneel too far back, but anyways, yeah, they ran a couple plays and then did it when they could have maybe run one play forward and then spiked that. Yeah.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Not a good look.
Nope. And then really, last couple, just want to touch on Cincinnati just absolutely stomped on SMU. Was really hoping not this or SMU would give them a run and maybe win, but just without Roberson, it was going to be hard to see. That's why I stayed away from that game. The Fighting Mormons ran a fake punt late in the game, up a lot, just to throw it on Texas State. Then your Longhorns hold on for the win. It wasn't pretty, but it's a win.
Yeah, I'm glad they won. I mean, my dad's Baylor fan, so I didn't want to hear that all week or all year, I guess, until next year. I'll live with the TCU loss, though.
That's fair. Yeah, Patterson just has the Longhorns number, and then the Wolverines gave me life. They scared. At first, I thought it was over that block punt to start the game. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a long season. I was already getting defeated, but once he actually let Joe Milton work in that offense, he looked comfortable. They have a lot of different offensive weapons. They're all kind of quick, shifty guys. They don't really have that big leading guy. They were hoping maybe to have, with just different transfers and opt outs. But I still felt like I liked what I saw on the offense. They had a nice rotation and running back that kind of complemented each other. They even ran some great plays for Milton on some design QB runs, and he's just a big, strong, fast dude, so it worked really well. One of my favorite plays, which was an incompletion technically, but they've been running like a QB power to the right a bunch, and it was picking up 5-10 yards consistently. They ran it as a play action, and they ran it to the right, and he stopped, and their tight end, who is very interested, he's a sophomore, Eric All, looks crazy athletic, and everything I've heard is he's one of those modern tight ends now that's just a very freak athlete. Had a wide open touchdown, and the dude was just turning and running before he actually caught it. I mean, that was like a 30-yard touchdown. And he just dropped it. But he made up for it the next play, got a nice big catch. But I just liked what I saw out of Milton. Fits what they want the offense to be. He has an arm actually. He looks everything that Shea Patterson is not. So excited to see that. And once Michigan gets you to passing downs, and we're kind of playing from that behind, Hutchinson and um oh my gosh, one blank um Pay Quiddy Pay, duh, oh man, who is going to be a stud if you want to draft him. Two sack, they unleashed him once you get to that passing down. So yeah, liked what I saw in Michigan, and then obviously want to get to that Penn State game, Indiana. I mean, we had saw now that weekend twice where guys should have fallen down and didn't, and they could have
Hmm.
won the game. So you can start
Hmm.
there. That's just kind of rough to see.
That that's just so almost inexcusable. I mean, that's got to be on the coach. Like, tell your player to get down.
Yeah, I mean, I would be
You don't
interested to
need to
hear
score there.
exactly. But I want to know also, what was in the huddle too. Like was it reminded? Because obviously I know NFL is different. You're more experienced. You should know a little better. But we saw as the Falcons Lions, Matt Ryan,
Yeah,
they
but
had the audio leak that he's like,
yeah,
"Hey,
they
if
yeah,
we're gonna run it,
don't
get down after the
go
first
down.
down." Yeah,
Yeah,
man, I got you.
I mean, you could see though that Gurley he
Yeah,
realized, oh crap,
too
but
late.
like way too
Yeah,
late. That's just, but yeah, I mean the best part about that game was he in, at the end of the game? Like,
yeah.
did that ball cross that pylon? That's like been the hot debate all weekend.
Do you think he got it?
I think he got it.
Oh
I
man.
I think that I mean you look at it and it's like you really got to try to look at it from all angles because like some angles it doesn't look like he got it, but other angles you could see that yeah maybe the tip was across, but then it also comes down to they called it a touchdown on the
Yep.
field, so they have to have
Yeah. There's no
indisputable
way.
evidence that it wasn't a touchdown, and like at that point, man, it's just I don't know. The human eye saw that it was a touchdown. I guess on the sidelines, camera is kind of up to interpretation. It was close. It was close.
Yeah.
I'd give it to him. I think he was in.
So, but I mean, yeah. If yeah, once they called it on the field, does that convert? That was and both moved there. Indiana just said, "Screw it, we're going for two this early in overtime. We're not even
I
doing
like
double
that move.
overtime." I mean,
I
if you're
like.
Indiana, why not? But I mean, you look at the yards. Obviously, turnovers was a big thing because Penn State had three, Indiana had two.
Mm,
But 488 yards to 21. And if I'm correct, it was like an 80-ish yard drive that Indiana had to just tie the game in regulation. So just take away like 70, 80 yards, and that was what Penn State had them held to. But just bad time turnovers and put themselves down early. Just yeah. And you know what? Also, I'm concerned for Penn State too is um, Noah Kane's out for the rest of the year. They had this big running back depth that they were going to have, and now it just get knocked out one by one. And I don't think I can trust Sean Clifford to be that dude to carry the team.
I don't know. Had 119 yards on the ground. I mean, he did fine.
I
He's
just,
got to not
it
turn the
just,
ball over, man.
yeah, that's the thing. I just don't see the turnovers kind of getting away from him. I just feel like that's my thing with him is he just I feel like he's going to throw a pick any moment.
Yeah.
There's just something about it. I don't know.
I, I say the same thing with like Sam Ellinger, and that's kind of been his thing is that he's not gonna turn the ball over, but it's like every now and then I'm just like, man, he's bound to turn the ball over.
Yeah. So, well, I want to get to my picks here real quick so we can get into some NFL action. My 10 here, unopposed, unless someone wants to throw one in late here, but I'm going a Friday game and I'm going some Hawaii action, and I got Hawaii to win and beat. They're favored by only 1.5, so just pretty much need them to win against Wyoming. I should be good there. I am on the Coastal Carolina train here. First time ranked last week. They're still going. They had a backup quarterback, still won versus a bigger spread last week. I didn't know about the backup quarterback, obviously. No one knew about it, I think, until game day, but he still played well, and they only have to cover 2.5 versus Georgia State. Georgia Southern was a better team, so they can win with the backup quarterback and cover the 6 last week. I think they can cover that 2.5. Purdue needs to win by at least they need to win by more than the 7 versus Illinois with how they played versus Wisconsin, and I like Bell a lot as well. I know Rondell Moore is still weird, questionable status, but I think Purdue can handle Iowa. They can handle Illinois easy. My first underdog here is it's moved down, so I was kind of liking it earlier, but I'm still going to take it. Is Rice is underdog by 1.5 versus Southern Miss, but I feel like there's got to be good karma for that kicker after he quadruple doinks it. So feeling that Rice win, and for the fact that Southern Miss, I don't know if you saw, their head coach originally left after the first game. The intern got COVID, missed last week, and then he took a job at Austin Perry or something, and now they're down to a third coach this year. So interesting there. I'm going to jump on the Greg Schiano train. Not saying calling a win, but they've got 12 points in that nice plus 12 versus Indiana. So I'll take the Rutgers to hang in there in a one-score game. Not like Indiana impressed me that much, with obviously only 211 yards of offense. I'm going to give your Longhorns your 3.5 dogs. I'm feeling like the Iowa State game last week. I think Oklahoma State wins. I don't think Oklahoma State's that dominant because I don't really think, weirdly, without much of a passing game, I don't think Sanders is that great. Chuba's can hang on, but I think it'll be a close game, and I think they might only win by a field goal. But hey, if I'm getting 3.5 plus for Texas, I'll take Texas. I am going to take Bama to cover the 31 versus Mississippi State because I think everything has gone wrong after that first week for Leach, and I don't really see a fix versus Bama anytime soon. And Bama's just going to absolutely run it up on Leach. I don't know. I feel like there's something Saban will just want to stick it to Leach for whatever reason he feels like. My lock of the week, and I think 2 weeks ago I said I was making this pick, and now it's gone up to 12.5 dogs in Arkansas. Give me the what is it? Crap. Woo Pig Suey, baby.
Woo Pig Suey.
Woo Pig Suey. 12.5 versus A&M. Dogs. I think I said a couple weeks ago, I'm picking Arkansas to win this game. But if you're going to give me 12.5 points to work with, too, if they lose, lock of the week. Let's go.
I don't know about that one, man.
Hey, they could just lose by a touchdown and I'm in. They've been playing everyone tough.
Yeah.
I'm going to take UNC to cover that 7 they have to do versus Virginia. I think they'll just kind of keep rolling. And you know what? I kept almost picking them. And I'm just going to do it. I'm taking BYU to cover that 29. They've been running up the score on people.
Hey, they do like to run it up.
They do like to run it up. And you know what? They are trying to make their name right now because they just got to keep beating these teams to kind of say, hey, don't forget about us. They're trying to make Zach Wilson look good too. So you know what? I'm going to do it. I've been saying I'm almost going to do it every week. I'm just going to pull the trigger. So there's my 10 right there. So yeah, so that's it. So
that's
my 10 right there, and we'll get into NFL. And before obviously we kind of talk about any games and make our official NFL picks, we had another poll that we did, and I revealed you guys the answer before. And I don't know if this makes you feel any better. The player A did win.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
I wish I put the disclaimer too, because I wonder a little earlier, so I wonder if that might have hurt a little bit. So obviously player A, player B, I'll say the stats, but I will say player A, just for everyone to know, is a current player. Player B played in the mid-2000s, so obviously different kind of styles are being played. Player A, the current NFL quarterback, 31 starts, 59.6 completion percentage, 6,801 passing yards, 39 touchdowns, 34 interceptions with 11-20 record, is Mr. Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Yep,
That's him. That's him.
that's him. So that's all his starts. So player B is all his starts as well. 33 starts, played in the mid 2000s, 59.2 completion percentage, 6,271 yards, 33 touchdowns, 33 touchdowns, 34 picks, 10 and 23 record. Who you picked in the poll or picked
I did.
when you found out he's a mid 2000s, thinking if he played like that, he would be
Well,
better in
yeah.
this era.
Before you announce it, to be fair, listeners, I, I figured mid 2000s. He the rules didn't favor the offense as much as they do now. It wasn't much of as much of a passing league as it is now. Offenses weren't as creative as they are now, unless you're the Jets. So I assumed player B was somebody okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Player B was J.P. Lossman.
And that's just not a good player.
No, it's not. And I want to shout out Vegas Squares. Guessed it correctly. I was like, oh man, I want to say something, but I did not want to spoil it because they got it pretty quick.
Yeah.
That was
I
J.P.
mean,
Lossman.
so here's something that I can toss in there since we're already talking about him. But player A, Sam Darnold, I saw a statistic here by @Michael_Nanya. If you want to keep up with any Jets news, that is your guy. But his tweet says Sam Darnold is currently averaging an NFL worst 4.43 net yards per pass attempt, which would be the worst by a qualified non-rookie quarterback since Jamarcus Russell in 2009, who had 3.87, which is worse, but that's not good, man. That's just not good. That's not going to cut it. Like, I've backed Sam this entire time, and I know it's not all his fault. The offensive line sucks. He's throwing to guys named Jeff Smith, who sounds like a default player you draft on Madden. Like, it's not an ideal situation, and I think, yeah, and it's also dealing with Adam Gase's play calling. I think he'll be good somewhere else, but I think his time in New York's over.
Yeah, he's gonna need, wherever he goes, he's gonna need a couple years to wash the Adam Gase.
Yeah, he needs to wash away the case. I mean, look at Ryan Tannehill. He's arguably a top 10 quarterback now.
Yeah. I know I'm a huge fan. If you guys haven't seen, check out the Bleacher Reports. Heights, those things are hilarious every time.
Those are pretty accurate
Pay
too.
attention in the background too, because they always put some good little funny small things back there. But they went back-to-back weeks with some Gase shots, and it was pretty funny.
He deserves it.
He does, but
he can't keep getting this free pass.
Yeah.
I don't get it. How people are like, oh, he's an offensive genius. When has he ever been an offensive genius?
As they nailed it.
Peyton Manning?
Week, yep. The ghost of Peyton Manning said, I created Adam Gase. Just scary words right there. Yeah, Manning's the OC for Manning. He wasn't the OC for Manning.
Yeah.
Peyton was the OC for Manning.
One of my best friends is a Broncos fan, and I remember him complaining about Adam Gase the entire time Manning was quarterback. He was always like, why are we throwing all these screen passes? Here he goes. Here we are.
Here we are again.
Still doing it. Yep. It's like, God, man.
Then they also had Minka and Tannehill like,
yeah.
Get away from him. It'll all be better.
God.
Yeah. So, NFL action this past week. We'll get into that. So, obviously, that Thursday night game of the NFC East lived up to NFC East standards and just a sloppy mess. Daniel Jones getting snipered out on the run, and then of course the Eagles just somehow managed to win it. And Wentz makes some weird plays, and then he just throws a dime at the end to Boston Scott. No way that could be a better pass. And the Eagles win, which they should have, and it shouldn't have been that close.
But that's the thing, is they're not a good team either.
But they have the East as a favorite.
Yeah. I mean, they should. I don't doubt that they'll win that division. They're a playoff. They're gonna go to the playoffs.
Yep.
I mean, who's gonna beat them
Yeah.
in the division at least? I mean, who's gonna beat nobody?
Psych. Yeah, no one.
Yeah.
So other games, the Lions, as we mentioned, won thanks to Todd Gurley not falling down before the end zone, and the Lions are 3-3, which I'm so split on. Obviously, I want to see him play well because they have talent. Matt Patricia's at least finally given in to some things, like he's actually playing some zone, crazy enough, and sending some extra blitzes, which was needed because they can't create a pass rush. Was always been an issue, but he kept playing just straight man and rushed to 3 or 4 and will somehow not get there. So I'll give him the credit there on he's at least made adjustments finally because he better. His job's on the line. Ford said it's playoffs or bust. I don't know if they'll actually follow through with that because they're forwards as well, but their offense is there. They have the weapons.
Yeah, I think they'll follow through with it.
I think so. At this point, you can't just.
I mean, they fired Caldwell for less.
Yeah, they said 9-7 wasn't good enough. So yeah, the offense of their Hawkinson's playing like that first round pick. Swift, they're finally using him. Thank you. Look, AP's not a bad piece to have, but I just kind of was afraid he was going to eat the carries he shouldn't. Kerryon Johnson's a great pass blocker. He's actually been blocking great. I know he hasn't done much on the ground, but Swift is a great receiver and rusher. I just did not like the idea of AP taking time away from those guys. But whatever. So yeah, but I guess most thing I'm mad at is they're 3-3 and they should be 4-2. Because the Bears didn't deserve that win, but whatever. We're gonna be on that all year. Bears are frauds. The Browns win against the Bengals after everyone was calling for Baker's head after the first 5 throws.
Yeah, our group text was going off on Baker. I said Baker's done, and then next thing I know, I look back at the game, and here he's at throwing. Was it 5 touchdowns?
He won AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I'll eat that. I'll take that L on that one.
Only I guess add on I have is shout out to Peoples Jones, U of M, game winning touchdown.
I liked him as a prospect because he didn't do much at Michigan, but he was a 5-star recruit, wasn't he?
He was. He just
there
was just always something you felt missing, like you knew he was there, but it was a mix on him and the coaches that just he also just, the fact that he had Shea Patterson was also kind of a big issue.
I don't know why the Jets wouldn't have just taken a chance on him. I mean, he was a 6th-round pick. Why didn't we just try? Like,
the thing is, though, you actually have to know how to try to develop him, and I don't know if Gase would have done that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know, man. I want to say, yeah, Hines Ward is our wide receiver coach. So I mean, I feel like Hines Ward would know what he's doing.
Yeah, you would think, but you never know. So Steelers are your last undefeated team as they hang on versus the late push by the Titans with a Gostkowski missed. Could have tied it. That Steelers defense is good, man. I mean, I think everyone knew that already, but yeah, they're still undefeated and number 1 right now in the AFC. Don't think people would have saw that. I mean, I know I had them as a playoff team. Obviously, a lot of people had them as a playoff team this year, but is the AFC North the NFC West? I mean, obviously, I know you have the Bengals there, but the Bengals are competing at least, but yeah.
Yeah, they're staying with it. They just have a really bad team.
Yeah. We have the Saints holding on against the Panthers without wide receivers, basically, as there was no Thomas and no Sanders, and I love how the Panthers are being built. They're going to be a force soon,
and they're even like performing without their best player, McCaffrey.
Hey, Mike Davis has stepped in well.
He's stepped up. That's a good 1-2 punch moving forward.
Exactly. He'll have a good role, and then you're just going to add McCaffrey back in.
DJ Moore, the Sun God. I mean, that's a solid
Yeah.
young receiving core.
All
Uh,
weapons.
yeah, I wish they would have kept Olsen, man. I wish they
Yeah.
would have just kept Olsen so Teddy could have at least had like a reliable tight end. And I know Olsen's not doing like the best this year because he's old, but I would have kept him.
Well, we won't make you have too much pain since you only had 4 yards of offense in the second half.
I was gonna touch base on that.
18-10 Bills with a lot of field goals. If you had Tyler Bass, congrats on your fantasy team.
Yeah. Jesus. Sam Darnold, what do you like? All right, so we started the game looking pretty good.
Yeah, we got an early
And
lead, right?
I liked that they were getting P Ryan involved. You know, we shipped off Bell, or actually we didn't even ship off. We cut him.
Yeah.
We didn't even find a trade partner for him. But yeah, we cut him off, and we split the carries now 11-11 with old man Frank Gore. And Frank Gore, I mean, he averaged 5.5 yards. He deserved more of the carries that game. I'll give him that. But P Ryan looked pretty good in pass blocker. Denzel Mims looked good in the first half, but what the heck happened at halftime? Because we were doing okay in the first half. I mean, we at least scored a touchdown, which is for Jet standards really good. And we got 4 yards in the second half, and we only lost by 8 points. I mean, Gase can't say a dang word to the defense this week. He just can't say anything to them. It's the offense, and it's an offensive league, and we have no offense, and it's like this every year. And honestly, time's a flat circle. We just suck on offense every year, and I really, really hope we tank for Trevor here. I don't even think we need to like intentionally tank. I just think the team's that bad that I think they're trying their hardest every week. I really do, and it's just not good enough. And I know this sounds ridiculous because it is a ridiculous argument, but I honestly think like Clemson could beat the Jets. I really think Clemson could beat the Jets. They're that bad. They are that bad. I think they're going to statistically go down as the worst team ever assembled professionally.
Playing like it. That's for sure.
Playing like it.
We'll touch.
I hope I eat my words and Sam Darnold plays well coming back, but I think his time's up, man.
They're just going to have to start over. Start all from scratch. That's just where it's at right now.
Yep. Tear it down.
So, can I just touch real quick on some of these other games to get someone at least get a little time on Sunday night football before we do our picks. Really only thing on the Washington football team and Cowboys, just one thing I just really want to say is obviously it's just a mess there in Dallas. You got Jerry Jones snapping at radio host, shut up and let him answer. Which, to be fair, of this particular station, there's only a couple of guys I actually like to sometimes hear their input, so I'll listen. The guy he told to shut up, I don't like at all, so I liked it, but not usually on Jerry's side on things. Just want to point that out. The guy probably deserves to be told to shut up. But the fact that no one defended Andy Dalton after that, I mean, I know that was a point of the topic, but come on. Anyone on your team, I don't care if you don't know him that well. Like, that's your teammate that just got.
It's not a good look. It's just, to me, that tells me the team doesn't care.
Yep.
I mean, and that's the thing. A lot of their top players got paid, and it's just like they don't give a crap anymore.
Got paid and they're good.
Zeke Elliott, for sure, doesn't care. That dude he's not even the same person this year as he's been his entire life. Like, he looks like a fat Ewok, and he can't hold on to the ball. I mean, good Lord. And I'm not even a Cowboys fan.
That's rough. Packers just handled the Texans. You got the Bucks handle the Raiders, and the Bucks are just going to get more weapons. People are apologizing to Brady because he's still up there performing in the top 5, top 10. Chiefs handled the Broncos easily. Drew Locks looked rough coming back from his injury. The Niners just they don't care who they're running through as a running back or on offense, but defense as well with their injuries. Cam's looked off since he's come back from COVID. Just footwork's not there and not looking good for the Patriots. Their playoff future might be this year kind of squeezing close. You got the Chargers and Herbert finally getting that win because they better beat the Jags because they were supposed to. I'll touch on Monday night here first because I want to at least get a minute or two on the Cardinals Seahawks before we do our picks. And as Randall would have the Bears and Rams, the fraud versus the fraud, but the better fraud won because the Bears, if they have to score in the 20s, is probably not happening. So Sunday night football, Cardinals with the win in overtime, 37-34. Obviously, a lot of points on the Cardinals getting that big win to keep the Seahawks from being undefeated, and then obviously you got the fun storyline of DK Metcalf just hawking down Buda Baker, and plenty of memes that came out of that. And I think my favorite was one that Thomas sent to us was the Happy Gilmore reference.
That's a good one.
That was
the
first time I'd seen that too.
Yeah, I had seen that one before.
Yeah, I think that's Mr. Gilmore's jacket. So, any big? Obviously, just big game from Kyler to step up and get that win. Any, I guess, key takeaways you want from that game?
Russell Wilson he looked off. He looked off, and
3 picks from him often.
Yeah, and Kyler Murray, he played the part of a first pick. He looked good. He led them in rushing yards. He also had a touchdown on the ground and 3 touchdowns in the air. He looked good. I like that they got Hopkins for him. That's a team that's building around their quarterback. Take notes, Jets.
That will be interesting to see where they keep going. I like the Cardinals this year. I had them in the playoffs, so we'll see where that goes. The NFC West is just good. I didn't think the Rams were going to step up this much, but obviously I know they've got their NFC East games all early and got those easy wins quickly out of that. So yeah, let's get to our picks. You got all yours locked in for this week?
Yep.
All right. Well, I got Randall's too, so I'm going to pull his up because we are pretty back and forth here. We tied last week. We had enough differences that both hit that we ended up tying. So we have some more this week. So it'll be interesting to see if I can keep pulling away or if he catches up. So Thursday night we have Falcons Panthers. Randall and I are both on the Panthers side. Who'd you got?
I got the Panthers, obviously.
I think it'll be a pretty actually good game.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
Just a way to mess it up. Patriots Bills. We got Bills for Randall, Bills for me.
I got Bills.
2-5 Patriots.
Patriots don't look right.
Yeah, but 2-5 they lose this game. Not a good look. Might be trading Stephen Gilmore, or at least talks of. Titans at Bengals. I think this is confirm a Titan sweep.
Yeah, Titans.
Titan sweep. We got Raiders at Browns, and of course, Randall's playoff Raiders. He is going to keep sticking and picking with them, as I have the Browns in the playoffs, so I am picking the Browns here. Well, who'd you got?
I got the Raiders in this one. The Raiders!
We got Colts at Lions. Randall's going Colts, and I'm just going to go for it. I'm picking the Lions.
I'm going to go with Lions on this one.
All right. We got Vikings at Packers. I think this is a Packers sweep.
Yeah, Packers.
Packers sweep, and this next one's a sweep as well. The Dogs and the Jets, 19 and
Just skip it.
Underdogs.
we don't need to cover this one.
Chiefs.
I think we can all assume the Jets are going to lose every game this year. So yeah, Chiefs.
Got Rams at Dolphins. Randall's going Rams. I am going for the Tua win in the first start.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rams on that one.
All right. I just want to say the Dolphins have a potential to sneak their way into the playoffs if Tua hits.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. We got Steelers at Ravens. Randall's going Ravens, and I'm going Steelers. There's something off with the Ravens right now. I think they'll fix, but right now I'm feeling off, so I'm going with the Steelers here.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to win this one. I think the Ravens will turn it on
Yeah,
towards the second half of the season,
exactly. That's what I'm
especially
thinking
since
too.
they made a bunch of acquisitions.
Yeah. We got Chargers at Broncos. Randall's going Broncos, and I bet the Chargers here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chargers. The Broncos stink.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I guess home field he was thinking, but nah, I got Herbert to deal it in the Mile High City.
Herbert's been slinging it. I'm
Mm,
going to ride the hot hand on that one.
yep. We got Saints at Bears. We know Randall's going Saints, and I'll go on board as well.
I got Bears, man.
Okay.
I don't think Drew Brees looks the same this year. I think the Bears might give him some trouble.
All right. We got Niners at Seahawks. Randall's got Seahawks. I will too. I don't think they'll lose 2 games in a row. But a
I got
close
the
game.
Seahawks. Yeah, I got the Seahawks.
A terrible Sunday night football. Cowboys at Eagles. I think we got an Eagles sweep as we're watching Ben DiNucci
Yeah.
play for the Cowboys.
I mean, unless he's like the next coming of Tony Romo, I think the Eagles are going to win this one.
Yeah. And then another bad primetime game. Bucks at Giants. We got a Bucks sweep.
Yeah, who's scheduling these games? I mean,
Who thought that
this
was
is terrible.
good? I mean, I
Dude,
get
this is terrible.
Everyone plays on Monday night, but really, Bucks Giants. Oof.
I mean, I'm fine to watch Tom Brady throw like 8 touchdown passes in a game or something. The Giants are terrible.
Yeah. So, well, there's our picks. We'll see how those go. Except if you want to challenge me on some college football, I gave you my 10. Throw your 10 out there. Or say, hey, I want to challenge you later in the year, and we'll set that up. So, thanks for tuning in and dealing with our slight delays as we will catch you next Wednesday.
Uh-huh.